You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Friday, August 3rd, 2021. Today is also the feast day of Saint Gregory the Great. Now, all week we have been talking about discipleship and the 10 marks of being a disciple. They are: the disciple is called, a disciple responds to this call, disciples love, disciples are obedient, disciples follow, disciples are taught, disciples keep their eyes on heaven, disciples suffer willingly for Jesus, and disciples serve God by serving other people. Now, today we are on number 10, and this is number 10 because it is the most important mark of a disciple, and that is that a disciple prays. This is the ultimate mark of a disciple. You know, what we do in the world, the way we love other people, whether we practice our faith publicly or not, sure, those are important. But what is most important is that we have a relationship with Jesus, that we spend time with him each day. It can be small, but we need to spend time with him each day. Because remember, a disciple follows. Now, we aren't lucky enough to live on earth when Christ lived, so we can't actually walk after him. And the only way that we will really know him and be able to follow where he leads is if we are prayerful. Now, prayer is difficult for children and adults. It takes both practice and dedication. The best way to pray is to set aside time when you will pray every day and to remain committed to that time. Now, I know as children, you might not have a lot of control over your schedule, but what I encourage you to do is each night, after the lights are turned out and it's quiet and you're all alone, before you fall asleep, say some simple prayers then. Even if you only say one Our Father and say, Jesus, I love you, help me to follow you, that will go a long way. Now, we might not hear God's answer right away in that moment, but you can rest assured that if you are praying and spending time with Jesus each day, the way ahead of you will become clear. Jesus will make it easy to follow him because he will lead you. And so the best thing that we can do as disciples, the first thing we have to do is we have to pray. Now, we've talked about the 10 marks of a disciple. Make sure you're praying. But all of these marks, what is the point of being a disciple? Of course, the point of being a disciple is following Jesus and getting to heaven. But there's also one other big reason why it's important for us to be disciples, and that is to make other disciples, to spread the faith, to evangelize the world. So if we are hearing God's call, responding to it, loving, being obedient, following, serving others out of love for God, and embracing suffering, and always praying, then we will touch the lives of other people, and they will join us in following Christ. And one by one, we will change the world. So Sprouts, let's conclude this week by saying a simple prayer together. And that prayer is, Jesus, teach me to be your disciple.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be.
Once again, thank you for being part of the Catholic Sprouts community. We are so excited for this coming year. We have some great content planned to really help you own your faith and evangelize the world. But before we get to that, we would like to ask a favor of you. If you would help us spread the word about this podcast by sharing it with at least one other Catholic family that you know that might enjoy it. Send them an email, a text message, or just mention it the next time you see them. We depend on your help spreading the word about this podcast, and we are so grateful for your ongoing support.
This show is a production of the Spoke Street Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.